everyone! In this video I'm going to recommend you a couple of books that I think are perfect for springtime reading. Those are stories full of charm, magic and adventure, and I'm sure they're gonna put you in a good mood. So let's start! So the stories I'm going to recommend you are mostly standalones that you can read in a few days. And also I think those are stories that are good for both young adults and adults. I mean, no matter your age, I think you can enjoy them. And these stories have similar vibes, similar ingredients mixed together, but in different amounts. So for me, the spring vibes are a mix of a bit of hopefulness. You know, spring comes and it's just hopeful and more like positive. So these stories have more positive and hopeful vibe and feeling to them. But also there's the desire for adventure. You know, we want to go out and explore. So most of those stories have some kind of adventurous vibes as well. And there is also maybe some romantic subplot because, you know, spring is the birds are singing and the bees and the flowers, you know, it has this romantic vibes. So I chose books that have this, again, in different amounts. So we have adventure, hopefulness, romance, and of course magic, because I think spring brings some magic. Okay, so let's start. The first book is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. This book has a bit of everything. It has some romantic subplot. It's not like very focused on it, but it has some romantic subplot, which is nice. It's a very cute, wholesome romance, I think. But the strong points, I think, are the whimsical, the strange world, and the adventure. So what is this story about? The story is about Mina, who is a 16 years old girl who jumps into the sea to sacrifice herself to help her village. Put simply. I mean, there is more reasons for it, but you can find them in the story. So she goes into the spiritual realm, a bit like Spirited Away if you've seen the Ghibli movie. So she goes into this spiritual realm, which is inspired by Korean mythology. So it's very interesting, unique world. And in this spiritual realm, she finds the sea god, but she finds out that he's cursed and asleep. So she has to figure out how to wake him up, how to navigate this world. So there is this adventure of her exploring this different world full of spirits and magic, and she's not sure who to trust. She's not sure what's going on. I think the strong point of this book is the world and the exploration of this world and the magical elements in it. And the romantic subplot is just like a nice extra to it. Also, this book is relatively short, so you can really kind of have one day. You just sit down and enjoy this book and just transport yourself into this world. I mean, the world building is good, but you know, for such a short book, of course, it cannot be like super detailed. Like, for example, I was left with the desire to explore more of this world, but I think for such a short book, it does a good job. If you want a good mix of all those elements that I told you about, pick this book and it's gonna give you this nice magical adventure feel. Now, if you enjoy magic, I suggest you also read Howl's Moving Castle. This is a bit older book, and there is an animated movie made based on it, so you've probably seen the movie, I guess. If you have seen the movie, this is quite different. I mean, there are common elements between the movie and this book. The book is different enough, so I think it will be still interesting to you. You'll still find new things in it. I think both the book and the movie are good in their own way. Here, the romantic plot is very in the background, I think, but the characters are fun and the magic is great. I love the magic in this book. It is adventurous and interesting, but I think the exploration of magic and the way it is used in this book is the most interesting part. And I think the characters are fun. Like, there is Sophie, who is enchanted and turned into an old lady, so she ends up into the moving castle of Howl, who is a wizard, and he is such a fun character. He's so vain and over the top, but he of course he's good on the inside. But I also like the demon that lives inside the fire demon, Kelsier. How was his name? Calcifer. I can't pronounce it very well. Calcifer, I think it's pronounced. I don't know, I love him. I love him in the anime. Also here, he's a fire demon and he makes the entire castle move. And like, all the characters are very fun. Their personality is very fun. and the magic is, it's so whimsical and interesting. So this is the kind of world you really enjoy going into, and you wish you had the powers House have. You wish you had his moving castle, maybe a bit shinier, but yeah, I think it really gives you this adventurous feel, and it's perfect for spring. And if you do like the anime, read the book. It's different, but still I think it's worth it. If you are into magic and adventure, then also this is a good book for you. Trace of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. So if you haven't read anything from Brandon, this is a good start. It's a very fun adventure, like similar to Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. It has a bit of everything, but I think here the world building is really unique because Trace lives on a different planet and everything there has different rules. And she goes on an adventure to save the man she loves. So there's the romance there, but it's in the background. She has to travel through the sea to find him, and the sea is so different. It's not made of water. I'm not gonna give you more details, you should just read it, but I think her adventure was really interesting and this book was really creative. And the unique thing about it is that it is told by the point of view of one of the characters. So it's like you're sitting by the fire and somebody's telling you the story, which gives this story a unique voice. You know, the guy who tells the story, Hoyt, he has a very fun way to tell the story, which makes the whole experience more fun. It's like it's even more whimsical, more fun, like because he makes some jokes from time to time. I don't know if you're going to like his humor, but I did enjoy a lot this book, and I think it was very creative and it has the typical hero's journey of a heroine that goes on adventure and she changes and grows along the way. But I think it's done very well and I think it's really enjoyable. Definitely recommend it if you like. Has nice illustrations. If you enjoy more adventurous stories, you know, because this is like the typical adventure. She's going from point A to point B, and on the way there is like adventures happening, so it's just like a quest. It has more action compared to this book. This has more mystery. Like this is if you like more mystery, and this is if you like more like adventure, like, and this is just more magic in the pure sense of magic. Like this is more scientific because the magic here has rules. You know, Brandon likes heart magic systems, so here you have to learn about how to use certain things in a more like scientific way, let's say. And here it's more like magical, you know, whimsical. I think all of them are good. I'm just trying to tell you the difference between them in terms of vibes and in terms of their strong points, so you can pick better. So this is more quest, adventure, fun, whimsical. If you like more magic and romance but less adventures, you want it to be more calm, you know, then you can read something like Half a Soul. Half a Soul is Regency era romance but with magic. Like the main guy is a wizard and the main female character is kind of cursed. Not exactly cursed, I don't have to say it. She's like missing half of her soul because there is this fairy man who took half of her soul. So she's now acting a bit weirdly, which is a bit of a problem in her society. You know, she's not always saying the right thing. And so this wizard is gonna try to help her. And there's some romance there. There is a bit of a darker theme, like there is sickness in this town. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? There is some stakes, but the stakes are not like, oh, we're going to fight monsters or I'm lost in a different world. The stakes are more kind of realistic, even if the sickness is magical. Oh no, it's kind of unique way to read a Regency era romance. So it has a bit more mystery to it, less adventure and more romance. I think this is more focused on the romance than the other three. Or not all the romance, but mostly like the relationship between the main characters. So if you're more interested in character relationship development, then maybe you should pick this one, because this still has the magic and a bit of mystery, but more romance and this Regency era atmosphere, let's say. And talking about Regency era, I want to actually remind you about Jane Austen, because I'm thinking her books are perfect for spring. Now, if you haven't read anything from her, you can try it out. Now, so Jane Austen doesn't have magic or adventure, but she has romance, and her books are very fun to read. They're not just romantic stories, okay? They have a very interesting take on society and the way people interact. I mean, you know, like Pride and Prejudice, but I have here Sense and Sensibility, or maybe Emma. Those books are just, you know, they're quick to read. They have witty dialogue. They will still bring you to a different era, bring you to a different lifestyle. So I think you can have some spring reading of Jane Austen, right? And talking about classical books, I also want to recommend you to read The Three Musketeers. I know this is a bit maybe unusual. This is, of course, an old classic book, so it's not one day read, okay? It's a bit long. But if you want to try something different, okay, this is really going to transport you in a different era. The language is a bit different. It's this kind of old-fashioned adventure with swords and fighting and intrigues. It's just a fun, classic adventure. It doesn't have magic, but it has a lot of adventure. And another favorite of mine is The Hobbit. Usually when I think about The Lord of the Rings, I think about September. I don't know, because their adventures start in September, I think. But The Hobbit, I think, is great for spring because it's just, again, the perfect adventure. And it's timeless. Like, if you have read it, you can reread it. It's really timeless. And okay, it doesn't have romantic stuff, but you can read Jane Austen for the romantic stuff. This you can read for the adventure. Every time I read it, I find another layer to it, and I should recommend this book always. Because people have seen the movie, or they've seen The Lord of the Rings, and they maybe think they shouldn't read it, but I think you should. Keep in mind it's less serious in tone than Lord of the Rings, but that's its charm, and I think the adventures are still fun. So yeah, you can try this. So these are my recommendations. Let me know if you like this video and what you think I can improve, since I'm new to YouTube, so I just really want to improve my videos. So if you have any suggestions, just let me know, and I will come back with another video soon. Bye bye.